How's going on everyone? Welcome back to another video in data structure series. Till now in this series we have learned what are arrays and what are the operations we can perform on arrays. So let's have a little recap about that. We have seen that we can imagine our memory as small boxes kept adjacent to each other and the volume of each box is 1 byte. Let's say we declare an integer array A with size 5. As the memory occupied by an integer is 4 bytes, therefore, this array would occupy 20 bytes of memory, which means that it would require 20 boxes kept adjacent to each other. Now, there are some problems we face with arrays. First problem is that the size of an array cannot be increased or decreased once an array is declared. So let's consider this array A once again. The size of this array is 5. So let's say if we want to store more than 5 elements in this array, let's say if we have to store 10 elements in this array, we cannot do this. We cannot increase the size of array A from 5 to 10. Similarly, we cannot also decrease the size of array from 5 to 2. Another problem is that arrays require memory in chunk. Let's say we declare an integer array B with size 1000. Now this array would require 4000 bytes of memory. Let me be more specific. This array requires 4000 bytes of memory contiguously, which means that we have to allocate 4000 contiguous boxes to this array, which might not be possible in some cases. So there is one way to solve this issue. Instead of storing data at contiguous memory locations, we can store data at random locations. Let's say if we have to store numbers 5, 6, 7 and 8. Now instead of storing continuously, we can store these numbers at random locations. Now when we store data like this, we do not need a chunk of memory, but still we cannot access these numbers as we do not know their address. So we use a data structure called linked list. In linked list, we store data in small blocks. These blocks are called as nodes. And each node has two parts. The first part is the data part or the key part. The second part is the link part or the address part. In the first part, we store the data. In the second part, we store the address of the next node. So let's store these numbers. So we would store 5 in the data part of the first node. Then we would store 6 in the data part of second node. Similarly, we store 7 in the third node and 8 in the fourth node. Now we store the address of these nodes in the former node. So let's say the address of second node be 2000. So we would store 2000 in the link part of the first node. Similarly, let's say the address of third node be 2024. We would store the address of the third node in the address part of the second node. Similarly, we store the address of the fourth node in the third node. As there is no node after the fourth node, we store null in place of the address. In linked list, we always store null in the address part of the last node. The first node of the list is also called as the head node and the last node is also called as a tail node. Now we have stored the addresses of each element in this list, but we have not stored the address of the head node, so we cannot access it yet. So we store the address of the head node in a pointer. This pointer is called as the head pointer. So let's say the address of the head node is 1000. We would store 1000 in the head pointer. Now we can use the head pointer to jump to the head node of the linked list. When we have jumped to the head node, we can use the data and we can use the address stored in the link part of the head node to jump to the second node. Again, we can use the data stored in the data part and we can use the address stored in the link part of the second node to jump to the third node. Similarly, we can also jump to the last node. But when we jump to the last node, we see that in place of address, we have stored null. So this means that the list terminates here. These type of linked list in which each node has only two parts and null is stored in the address part of the tail node are also called as singly linked list. So I'll summarize singly linked list in brief. In singly linked list, we store data in nodes. Each of these nodes have two parts, a data part and a link part. The link part is used to jump to the next node. The first node of the list is called as the head node and its address is stored in a pointer. This pointer is also called as the head pointer. The last node of the series is called as a tail node, and in the address part of this tail node we store null. This means that the list terminates here. There is one problem with singly linked list. In singly linked list, reverse traversal is not possible. This means that once I have jumped to a particular node, I cannot jump back to the previous node. So if I have jumped to the second node, I cannot jump back to the head node because I do not know the address of the head node. So we created a new type of linked list. These linked lists are called as doubly linked list. In doubly linked list, each node has three parts. In the first part, we store the address of the previous node, and this part is called the previous link. In the second part, we store the data, and in the third part, we store the address of the next node similar to singly linked list, and this is called next link. So as always, address of the head node is stored in head pointer. So we can use this head pointer to jump to the first node of the series. Similar to singly linked list, we can use the next link part of the first node to jump to the second node. Address stored in the next link part of the second node to jump to the third node, and so on. And at last we can see we have stored null in place of the next link part of the node, which means that the list terminates here. But the special thing about linked list is we can traverse back to the previous nodes. We can use the address stored in the previous link part of the tail node to jump to the second last node. Similarly, we can use the address stored in previous link part of the third node to jump to the second node, and similarly we can jump from second node to first node also. But again, when we jump back to the head node, we see that we have stored null in the previous link part of the head node because there is no other node prior to the head node whose address can be stored here. As we see that null is stored in the previous link part of this node, we stop here. So in doubly linked list, we have seen that reverse traversal is possible. Next we have circular linked list. Circular linked lists are again of two types, singly circular linked list and doubly circular linked list. First, let us see singly circular linked list. Singly circular linked lists are quite similar to singly linked list. The only difference is that instead of storing null in place of the address part in the tail node, we store the address of the head node in the tail node. So let's say if the address of the head node here is 1000, we would store 1000 in the tail node. Now we can jump to the head node from the head pointer as well as from the tail node. Secondly, we have doubly circular linked list. Again, in doubly circular linked list, we store the address of the head node in the next link part of tail node instead of storing null, and we store the address of the tail node in the previous link part of the head node instead of storing null. So let's say the address of the head node is 1000 and the address of the tail node is 2000. So we would store address of the head node, that is 1000, in the next link part of the tail node, and we would store the address of the tail node, that is 2000, in the previous link part of the head node. We can jump from head node to tail node directly, and similarly we can jump from tail node to the head node directly. So we have a head pointer from which we can go to head node, and from head node we can go to the second node as well as we can go directly to the tail node. Once we are at tail node, we can go to the second last node of the list, and we can also go to the head node of the list. So we have seen that we have joined the first and the last node of the list in singly circular linked list also and in doubly circular linked list also. In the next video, we are going to see how we can actually implement linked list. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you have any doubts or suggestions for us, please share with us in the comment section. You can also contact us through our Instagram profile, link is given in the description box.